Sorry, I was slow on the music.
Welcome to the Castle of Spirits True Ghost Stories podcast. If you're looking at me on YouTube and you're wondering, what's this thing planted on my head? It was because Jane thought it would be a good idea.
It's a hat.
Well, I mean, you know.
I don't. He thinks the hat is weird, and I don't get it.
I look like a 50-something-year-old guy trying to look all fly.
He is a 50-something-year-old guy trying to look fly, as the kids said in the late 80s.
Oh, I'm funky, fresh, fat. P-H-A-T? Is that how it goes?
Maybe stop.
Well, no, I'm just getting warmed up.
Oh, boy. Yeah, settle in, folks. Apparently it's going to be a bumpy ride tonight.
Well, good day, good afternoon, good morning, or good hell, wherever you are.
Wow.
If you're listening to this in podcast land, the reason we're talking about my stupid hat beanie is because we also broadcast this on YouTube on every Saturday night live, Saturday Fright Live, as we like to call it. And tonight's show is Be Mine
or else. Why are you shorter than me?
I don't know, man. This is, I think I usually use a booster.
Because he's 4'3".
The thing is, I'm actually 5'9", but I have long legs. So if my legs were in proportion to my torso, I'd probably be fucking like 4'11" or something. So hello.
Anyway.
And what's wrong with that? And Jane, on the other hand, is
short torso.
6'7".
I am, but my legs are only about 4 inches tall. So.
And so, well, what are we doing? What are we talking about here tonight?
I don't know. It's kind of going off the rails. I mean, we could just say we were talking cryptids. How about that? We were talking about cryptids. That's on brand. Sorry, I'm moving my table here.
Cryptids on brand. You know, last week was a very unique and special episode. If you missed it, you screwed up.
Aren't they all unique and special episodes?
Well, yeah, with a capital S and a capital L. But there was something we forgot to talk about last week.
Oh, yeah. Should I?
This is housekeeping, everybody, housekeeping. We love to encourage people to write and submit their real ghost stories.
True.
That's what makes this
Ghost
podcast. CastleofSpirits.com has been around since 1997, sharing the true stories long before Reddit, long before No Sleep.
And long before AI.
Indeed.
So a couple episodes ago, we meant to talk about this in the last episode, but totally forgot. But the episode before last, it turns out that one of the stories we read was AI. We're not going to say which one. It doesn't matter. The story's been removed from our website. Once we realized, which unfortunately wasn't until after the episode, we started looking at the story and we're like, I think this story is AI. Ran it through a couple checkers. It was AI. We actually spoke to the person who submitted it. They apologized, said they didn't realize that they couldn't do that. You know, fine.
All is forgiven.
But just to let you guys know.
But we'll never forget.
That we do not read AI stories. None of the stories that we read, to the best of our knowledge, and I think we're pretty good at detecting AI. I mean, except we weren't that time. Yeah, we do not read AI stories.
Nor do we endorse or support AI really of any kind.
I mean, don't say, I mean, my thumbnails are AI. What the hell else am I supposed to do for thumbnails, you know?
Well, okay. All right.
So my thumbnails are AI. I admit it. But yeah, we will never knowingly read you or promote AI stories. So we just wanted to throw that out there and apologize for
I also
reading
really
one.
dislike AI YouTube channels.
Bad.
It used to be that, remember, it used to be that we, whenever I was like, we were flicking through the YouTubes, I'm like, oh God, this guy's got a terrible voice. He's got a terrible microphone.
Yeah.
You can hear his mouth sound and all that kind of stuff. Now, because there's so much AI, so many AI fake voices,
Yeah.
that I long for that human fallibility, that annoying voice, the even the annoying vocal fry. Vocal fry is the worst thing since I don't
No.
know, since what?
No, AI's worse.
Yeah, since AI.
But yeah, we
Well,
turn on a YouTube video and we're all, oh, okay, that's AI. Turn it right back off.
so we like real people.
And
Um,
AI thumbnails. Sorry.
But the AI thumbnails, you don't pass them off as original art.
Right.
You don't go on and say, "Hey, look at this beautiful artwork that I created." But Jane is an artist. I am a writer, and we rely heavily on non-AI and the influence of the human brain and the human heart and the experience
Yeah.
that cannot be duplicated yet, anyway.
Right.
And I hope it never will be.
Right. And on that note, we are going to read you some decidedly non-AI stories
And
tonight.
you know how you know that these stories are non-AI?
Because they are very clearly written by a human being.
Because they're deeply flawed. And that
Not
is
deeply.
something.
Don't say that. Make them sound. We're going to read you some shit tonight.
I didn't say
Just garbage.
I didn't say it was shit. I said it was deeply flawed. Just as, you know, I mean, look at me. I am deeply flawed.
Yeah.
And yet, you know.
But not me.
Huh?
Oh, like that's a prize.
What, me?
Anyway.
Oh, yet I'm her prize.
You're going to read first tonight because
Oh
you
my
always
God.
make me read first.
And excuse me, I'm still wounded, guys.
Yeah, he's still injured.
My martial
We're
arts
getting there, though.
injury was really, really bad, as it turns out. We're not really sharing too much information about that because we don't want to gross anybody out. This is a show about
Including Vince. He gets
true.
grossed out
Oh
easy.
God, there's nothing worse. Could you imagine having this injury? This looks cute, right? It's a little blue thing on my finger. But before it was this massive thing after I had surgery on my finger.
His whole hand is like this.
And it was claustrophobic. I wanted to get away from it and I could not. It's like my existence was this hand. And you take it for granted, but you also, sometimes the bad luck you have is better than the bad luck you could have had.
Yeah.
And I could have broken all my fingers. It was that close.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, it was.
And I just thank the ghosts in the castle for preventing that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
And may they always prevent it from happening.
Well, read us a story about one of them ghosts in the castle.
Although they clearly screwed up this last time. Anyway.
Come on.
I was away from the castle when it happened, though, so there
Please?
it goes.
Don't.
I'm relating.
Oh, okay.
Don't you feel I'm relating to you?
Just read.
It's fun to relate. Anyway, I was looking through the Castle of Spirits Stories archive, and I came across one that was written and submitted anonymously in the USA in April of 2007. This is a story that I have never really heard this sort of angle before, and I wonder if you have. This is a story called The Glowing Man.
Ooh.
Well, don't make fun of it. You haven't even heard it yet. Okay, sorry. Here we go. It was at least 4 years ago that my friend and I experienced the event described here. However, it is still fresh in our minds, and we still bring it up frequently. It was midsummer and night had fallen about an hour earlier. My friend and I were swimming in her above-ground pool in her backyard, enjoying the water, which was still warm from the sunny day. I was sleeping over that night, but the both of us were unwilling to leave the fun of the pool, despite the darkness and the hungry mosquitoes. We felt perfectly safe. After all, her parents were right inside the house. Somewhere in the middle of one of our games of Marco Polo, we both halted as we heard a strange noise coming from the forest to the right of her yard. It seemed at first like some sort of a heavy, sharp, buzzing or crackling sound. It would sound shortly and regularly. We put it off at first, as perhaps the neighbor's bug zapper, but it soon became clear, as the sound got closer and louder, that it was definitely the crackling of leaves in the woods. I recall at this point my friend saying that perhaps we should go inside. where I said something to the effect of, "No, don't worry about it. It's probably a squirrel or a raccoon or something." I wanted to keep on swimming, after all, but the sound got closer and clearer, and it became obvious that it was no squirrel or raccoon. It was being made by something much, much larger and heavier than that. Even I began to get nervous now, but I still tried to pass it off as no big deal. Even my friend stepped out of the pool and began to towel off. Just then, I heard my friend shout, "Look!" as she pointed toward the direction of the sounds. I swam up to the edge of the pool closest to the area. I started to say, "What? There's nothing." And then suddenly, I saw something. There was certainly something there. It looked like a basic human shape, but far taller than any human. I estimate it to be 9 to 12 feet tall, and it seemed to be made entirely of a very dim glow. It had no features I could see other than blackness where the eyes should be. I was moving slowly forward to the sounds of the crunching. I'd seen enough, and I don't think I've ever gotten out of a pool faster in my life. I grabbed my shoes, my towel, and my glasses as fast as I could, and my friend and I held hands and ran down the pool deck steps and across her lawn as fast as we could. She screamed for her parents, and we told them there was something coming into the yard from the forest. Her father took their dog and went outside to check, but they found nothing. My friend and I compared stories later, and the descriptions of the creature matched. Needless to say, we didn't get much sleep that night. We never saw the creature again or anything like it, but to this day we refer to him as the glowing man. Our friends are probably sick of hearing the story by now, but when you experience something like that, you just can't keep it to yourself. And that was The Glowing Man, submitted anonymously in April of 2007. A creepy story, indeed.
Yeah, that was really creepy.
I grew up in a house with a pool, and although we didn't live near the woods, we lived in suburbia. Going out into the pool at night, even though you're surrounded by a street over here, a fence, houses all around, it gets creepy in the water at night.
Yeah, because it's a very vulnerable position to be in.
Right. You're essentially, you can't swim away. You can't get away by going down.
You're half naked.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's a vulnerable position to be in.
Except for those of us boys who used to swim with our T-shirts on for obvious reasons. But,
also,
it is something that is, you're very vulnerable. If you want to get out and run, you're cold. And how far are you going to go if you're cold?
And I have a little advice. If there's a human or humanoid or
I think it was a humanoid.
Some other oid, a non-humanoid coming into your yard and it's scary and you don't know what it is, don't get the dog and go out there. What are you doing? It's going to eat you. It's going to clone itself into your dog. Didn't you see the thing?
Yeah, I saw
don't
something.
Don't do that. Call the police. Let them go out and get non-humanoided.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. They're more set up for that.
The thing about it is that you're looking at me, you're like, oh, definitely, he's definitely done this. I briefly had a security job when I was in my early 20s.
Just one night.
It was actually one night and one day, I think. I quit. Oh, man, I hated that job so much. They made me cut my hair.
Really?
Man.
I don't think you told me that.
Oh, man, I was.
He used to have this big curly strawberry blonde mullet in the 80s, an 80s mullet.
That was back when they were called bi-level.
Doesn't make it any cooler.
But yeah, I thought, I fancied myself, some sort of long-haired dude. And then, and so what happened was that I had to cut it off. And that already just halved my powers, right? Because I had the long superpowers.
All right, Samson.
And so what was I saying?
Who
Oh,
knows?
yeah. One of the first thing they teach you is that you have the powers of arrest, whatever that means. But the first thing they teach you is you're in a building, you're securing it. You're being the security man, guy, person for it. And if anybody looks suspicious, call the cops immediately and hide. They told us that.
So
And I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to do anything.
security is a glorified term. You were a 911 dialer.
Yeah, like an early warning alert or something back before they had proximity alarms and, and I guess before, I don't know, before cameras were a thing. Shit, there were cameras. But I guess, maybe you need a human to be like, to suss things out, to be like, I smell danger. I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah.
So if you don't call your dad to go out there and chase after him, go inside the house, lock the door, call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
or just hide under the bed until it goes away, because it probably will.
I mean, we've seen lots of movies where the people get sucked under the bed.
I hate that.
I hate that too. It's one of the lamest cliches. I think it peaked with the movie Wreck.
Although, like in the old days, they used to do it good, right? Like in The Brood,
Yeah, yeah.
where the lady gets dragged under the couch.
I don't remember her getting dragged on the couch. I watched that movie 1,000 times when I was a kid, but I don't remember that part. David Cronenberg. If you've never seen The Brood, you haven't seen horror. So see that movie. And also, my last takeaway from that story that I just read, The Glowing Man. If you have a dog, and you're going to mention your dog in the story, give us the dog's name.
We have to know the dog's name.
I don't need to know your dad's name. Your dad is dad.
Yeah. His name is Dad.
You don't call him the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We have the dog over there sleeping
No, she
on the
is
couch.
not the dog. That is Freya.
That is Freya the Castle Hellhound, and she has a theme song and everything.
Yeah,
we
just
can't
remember,
sing it though because it's copyrighted.
If you're gonna submit a story and there's an animal in it, you better give us the animal's name. I'm just gonna start making names up when an animal's not named.
I should have said that my dad came out with our dog, Fifi.
Our dog Miffy.
Miffy, a giant Rottweiler.
Oh, that's cute. I love Rotties.
But if the dog didn't chase something away, it probably wasn't a substantial dog. I like big dogs. I like big dogs that look like they could tear you in half, but they don't.
Wow.
Because you are special to them.
Well,
I like dogs almost as
you're
much as I like
special to
ghosts.
all of us.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I think it's my turn to read because this is going on a bit. You know what
So
I'm saying?
I didn't scare you with that story.
Yeah, that was a great story.
Oh, okay, good.
No, do you know it did kind of remind me of another story we've read before.
Which
For
one?
some reason, I can't remember the name of the story, but remember the guy's aunt like drove past the house and saw like a man like hovering
Oh, on
at
the
the
roof.
top of the tree
Yeah.
behind the house. For some reason, like the setup there just reminded me of that story. That was a good story.
This one, the I don't want to bore people. The imagery reminded me of It Follows.
Oh,
there was a
yeah,
scene in the swimming
pool. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
And if you
read
still
us-
haven't seen It Follows, for shame.
Yeah, man.
Get
What's the
it.
matter with you?
Okay. I'm going to say it right now. It's Mika Monroe's only good movie. I apologize. Okay. This story that I'm going to read is called Nurse's Helper.
I'm sorry. I think you read that last week.
I did not read this last week.
I think you read that last week.
I did not read this last week. What are you talking about?
Well, now we have
Did I
to
read
fix this
last week?
because if we look at the Castle of Spirits, True Ghost Stories podcast.
Oh, quit being all salesy.
Well, no, I'm stretching for time.
Oh.
And I
'Cause
go
we
to the
need to make it
podcast and I
longer
search
than it is.
Nurse's Helper, and I remember I had to take out the apostrophe because Nurse's Helper in the story did not have an apostrophe. It aired on
Boom.
wait, Nurse's Helper? Is it new?
Yeah. From 2026.
What the heck? All right. Well, I guess we didn't read Nurse's Helper. I mean, I would love to be able to look at Buzzsprout, and that's what we use to publish the stories through, and look at the last Castle of Spirits episode
right,
called
he's-
Cursed.
You know what? You keep
Oh no, it was
looking.
called A Sister Story. Never mind. Go ahead.
I did read a sister story, yeah. Okay.
Nurse's Helper, Sister Story, same thing.
Well, now I'm concerned that I did read it. Will you just keep looking? I'm going to read my other story.
Oh man, sorry guys, I messed it up.
All right, we'll get back to that one. This one is called School Scares, and it was submitted by Rob in West Virginia, USA, August of 2018. Okay, minor case of the creepies. I am head custodian in an elementary school, an older building built in the 1960s. I had building check this past weekend in June 2018. You go in, look a few things over, check the temperatures on the coolers and freezer in the kitchen, and leave. Now, in the summer, the school gets really hot and there's no AC except in certain areas. So we have these big industrial ventilation fans set up around the building just to keep air moving. In the morning before work, I make a circuit and turn them all on. In the afternoon, just before we leave, I go around and turn them all off. When I went in to do my check on Saturday, the fan by the cafeteria was on. I distinctly remember shutting it off Friday afternoon, as it was the last one, and the switch had given me a little trouble. There hadn't been anyone in the building since 3 p.m. Friday afternoon. And even if there had, why would they turn that fan on? Odd things do happen sometimes. Things disappear and reappear someone else, or a hallway of classroom doors left open the night before will be closed in the morning, or vice versa. The AC unit in the main office might be on when you come in on a morning in winter. Other weird things. One night, a couple years ago, when I was still working afternoons, the other custodian had just left the building, and I was getting ready to leave. I couldn't remember if I'd locked up the front doors or not, so I headed upstairs to make sure. They were locked. As I came back out into the darkened main hall and turned for the steps, I heard a voice say, plain as day, "Hi, Rob." I know I heard it. I stopped and looked around, thinking someone had come back in, and of course saw no one. I was the only one in the building. The whole big, dark building. A teacher tells of how she'd stayed late one night. She said this was about 10 or 10:30 p.m., so both afternoon custodians were long gone to prepare stuff for a substitute she had the next day. As she was sitting there in the quiet, she heard a door slam somewhere off in the building. She gathered up her stuff and quickly left. Another teacher was doing the same thing late in the evening and alone in the building, and heard the side door, right down from her classroom, open and close. That door is always left locked during the school year and can only be opened from the inside unless a key is used. She called out, and naturally, no one answered. Supposedly, legend has it, a custodian had died of a heart attack in the building in the late 70s or early 80s. So, thank you again to Rob in West Virginia, USA, for submitting School Scares in August of 2018. Was that supposed to scare me, Vince?
I was reaching my hand around behind her trying to scare her, but it didn't work.
I'm not easily scared. I like that story. It reminded me of my elementary school, but my elementary school was built in like the 30s.
Oh wow, were you one of the first students, or?
I'm gonna punch you right in the throat.
Oh God, that's the only place I haven't been punched this year.
Well, buckle up, Buttercup.
Well, them's jokes, but that story reminded me a little bit. I got Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger vibes for some reason.
Like that scene in what was it? Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Henry Winkler, he hears something in the hall and he's like, "Ugh," and he goes out in the hall and he says something like, "Oh, damn kids," or whatever. And the janitor's all, what? He's all, oh, sorry, not you, Fred. It's totally Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, when he was alive.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, that wasn't Scream.
yeah, it was Scream.
Was it Scream? Henry Winkler? Okay.
Yeah, the very all the Scream movies were actually excellent.
Yeah.
With the exception of the ones made in the last few years, I couldn't get
And the
through-
TV series.
and the TV, they were just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But every single movie, especially Scream movie made by Wes Craven,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember hearing about Scream in the 90s, and I was like over those movies. I was like, how lame. This is just a rehashing of all those cool 70s and early 80s slasher movies. And then I caught a late night movie review show, kind of like a Siskel and Ebert, but it wasn't. And these two guys started out knocking Scream, talking about how terrible it was. And I'm like, yeah, man, this movie must suck. Tell us how bad it is. And before they finished that segment, they had both completely turned around and said, actually, this is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like this. I've never seen anything like that. And I thought, oh, okay, now I've got to see the movie.
That's like, I feel like that was your reaction, you and your friend Glenn, your reaction to Dead Alive. You're sitting there watching
my
and going, oh, this
God.
movie is horrible. This movie sucks so bad. And by the end of it, you're like laughing your asses off and having an amazing time. And
It was the worst movie we ever had fun watching.
it's the best.
It's an acquired taste. When I first saw Dead Alive by Peter Jackson,
Yeah.
from the late 90s,
Back before he,
actually mid 90s, back before he
when he used to make horror movies, I mean,
good horror. Yeah, back before he sold out to become big. Yeah, I really didn't know Peter Jackson. I had never heard of him, and
nobody really
just
knew him.
based on the title of the movie, I thought it was like a real a serious zombie movie.
The poster didn't give that away.
No, I just thought, well, it's a quirky poster. But I have a history of doing that. Like when I was a kid, I went to see Gremlins, and I was really excited because I thought it was going to be scary. And even the little poster with little cute little hand sticking out of the box, out of the
Hand?
there was like
The
a
Mogwai.
yeah. Wasn't
Oh
it
yeah, the little
claw sticking
yeah,
out of
the gremlin claw. Yeah.
sticking out of the Christmas gift box.
Mhm.
Even that wasn't an indication enough to me that this is probably not a serious horror movie. And I was like all like a serious horror geek.
I'm still
know.
really surprised it's rated PG and
I
it's
think
in the
G, isn't it?
PG or G. I don't think it's G because the microwave scene, but
Oh yeah, which is not true. You can't put
Or the
creature
blender.
into the micro. Just like you can't put, I don't know, a piece of steak into the microwave for 30 seconds and have it explode. If you put a living being in there,
wow, let's
it's not going to explode. But
moving right
But
on.
you are going to be arrested, so don't ever do
yeah,
that.
you will be arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the schools really, it doesn't matter how old the school is. I think schools and really any kind of institution at night or just when it's closed, it lends itself well to scary stories because these are places that are usually full of life, lots of people. Like as a kid, you don't go to school and you're the only one there. It's just not a place that you experience outside of regular hours very often.
Man, when I was a kid, I was usually the only one not there. Anyway,
Okay.
go on.
So you've got that kind of liminal vibe there too, right?
Yeah.
And I think that definitely lends itself well to scary stories. And even if the story isn't all that scary, I think that kind of liminal vibe mixed in with it just amps that up a little bit more.
So if you're a filmmaker and you're looking for a really cool location to make a movie,
Schools.
try to figure out a way to
night.
have the story take place in a school at night. Yeah, after hours.
Did I
And,
read the
you'd be a
other
real
story?
winner.
Did
Yes. No, you didn't read A Nurse's Helper last week. You
I read it the week
The week
before.
before. Or
Son of a.
sometime in January. We had, oh man, guys, we had a horrible January.
Yeah, that's why I don't
A
remember.
lot of bad luck.
All right, well, I got to find another story. So why don't you read a story and maybe I'll see what I can scrape up?
Well, I just so happen to have come equipped with a couple of stories to read.
Do it.
And we wanted to thank everybody who's out there listening to us. and watching us in the YouTube land, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this.
For reals.
I mean, I can think of many other things I'd rather do on Saturday night. Doing this ain't one of them. I'm kidding. Of course. No, we do it because it's totally fun.
Don't be mean.
Oh, no, of course not. So basically, I wanted to share with you a story once I find it. And it has a really cool title.
All right.
I swear it does.
Well, we're waiting, so.
You waiting for me? You're going to be waiting a long time.
Oh, Vince.
This is a story submitted by Rene in South Texas in August of 2025, just last year. This is called The Knock. I recall this with vivid clarity, even though I'm now 65. It occurred when I was approximately 20 and in my first 2 years of college. I was at home, and my mother and sister told me they were headed out. I think they said the mall, at around 6:30 in the evening. It was getting dark, so it must have been November of that year. As I recall, they told me that my father was working late. As they left, all the lights in the house were turned off, and I made sure all the doors were locked. I was getting ready to do some chemistry homework. As I recall, it had something to do with the pH of orange juice solutions. I told you, I remember this very vividly. As I proceeded to my room to start my homework, I closed the door, and a very strange thought entered my mind as I did. Someone is going to knock on the door, and when you open it, no one will be there. It is the devil. What an odd thought to have. But anyway, I closed my bedroom door and moved to my desk to start my homework. No sooner had I sat down than there was a knock on my bedroom door. I was freaked out. I know my heart was pounding, and briefly, looking at my green push-button phone, the landline, I thought of calling the police, but to tell them what? After disposing of that thought, I convinced myself I had no choice but to open the door, knowing I must have heard something else that I mistook for a knock. I opened the door, looking into the darkness, and of course there was no one there. But suddenly, over perhaps 2 or 3 seconds later, my uncle appeared into view. He was wearing a black suit and tie. He says hello, and I asked him, "How did you get in?" He told me that the door was open, and he came in and saw the light at the bottom of my room door, though he could not have seen that from either of the 2 entry doors at the opposite sides of the house, so I didn't know if he was telling the truth about that. He said that he was there to speak with my father, who was his brother. I told him my father wasn't home and that he was working late. My uncle said that was fine, but since he was there, he thought he'd just visit with me for a few minutes, if I had the time just to catch up. Of course I said yes. My uncle talked about many things, but mostly what he talked about related to mentally controlling objects and creating movements. He told me that I had that capability. I thought it was odd for him to say that, but I humored him, and I listened to him. After about a half an hour, when I couldn't do what he was trying to show me how to do with my mind, he said it was time for him to leave and that I should let my father know he'd come by for a visit. Later that evening, when my father finally came home, I told him about the visit, and he called his brother. I recall my father's surprise when he told me that his brother had not come by, and also that he did not own a black suit. I don't know what happened or why, but that specific event, being visited like that, never occurred again. But about a year later, I was in my parents' room watching TV when my younger sister came in. We both heard the back door open and close. It had a large glass panel that would vibrate when the door was closed, and we commented that my father must have come home early. But a few minutes later, after he didn't appear, we started talking about things, many things that I had experienced myself. And she shared what she had experienced, including a repeated visitor she had seen for years. When we told my father, he told us about the many times that he would be in my parents' bedroom and would hear someone knocking on the front door. It was a persistent enough knock that he would look out the bedroom window and see no one at the door. He had other stories as well. My mother and older brother claimed that they had never experienced anything like that. However, that knock really made everything coalesce. Everything stopped after a full-scale upgrade to the house, including my sister's visitor. We still talk about this to this day. My father passed in 2016. In an unrelated event, during one Christmas, we talked about these experiences, and my brother again said he had never experienced anything like that. Then I reminded him and asked him if he recalled those old cassette tapes that he had of recordings that he'd made, but he'd left the recorder on beyond what he needed. In those cassettes, we had discovered that you could hear voices in the background, but we could never make them out. He always said that he was picking up stray radio signals. Thank you for letting me share. And that was The Knock by Rene in South Texas, submitted in August of 2025.
No. Mm-mm.
That story really freaks me out. First of all, we were talking earlier about like people submitting fake stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not a fake story. That's a real story because first of all, there were a lot of disconnected things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody is, like an author, a gifted writer that can piece things together and it's not, like I said, it's beautifully flawed. And when you get a beautifully flawed account of something like that,
Yeah.
it has the ring of truth to it.
Right.
And you wonder, why would somebody make up a story like that just to get it onto a Castle of Spirits website
Yeah.
that maybe somebody would read or maybe somebody would not read?
Right. Yeah. And
yeah.
Don't knock on doors, people. Just, we need to, as the human race, we need to stop knocking on doors. We have doorbells now.
Oh.
We have text messages. There's no need to knock on a door.
Text message at 3 a.m. I'm standing at your front door.
Okay.
Is that not worse than a knock?
If you have their phone number, clearly, there's some kind of an established relationship. You're not a rando. You're not a black-eyed child, And if they have a doorbell, ring the doorbell. Knocking is scary. And I don't know there's this thing, maybe it's just my neighborhood, but I hate it. We have a doorbell. People will come to our door and knock very quietly. Just very quietly knock.
Well, usually these people are like solicitors.
Yeah, whatever.
Who knock right below the sign that says no solicitor.
Yeah, yeah. But if you knock on my front door, dunk, 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 I'm going to ignore you. Because you are up to no good. You're either selling something or you are a freaking black-eyed child.
Or you're up to no good.
You're up to no good. I want nothing to do with you if you're knocking on my door. Ring the doorbell. Now, think about that the next time you go to knock on someone's door. I think I would rather just have somebody shout, hello. Can you come talk to me?
Throw pebbles at the window.
Right. Don't knock. No knocking.
And what I want to know is, I can see a kid, a teenager, a younger person in the story hearing a knock. Well, first of all, he said he heard a knock on his bedroom door when he was home alone. Don't close the bedroom door when you're home alone. Leave it open so you can see what's coming.
Yeah.
But a knock, a little dunk, dunk, dunk at your bedroom door. Oh, hell no.
I would just have a heart attack and die.
Door. He opened the door. I'd be like, no way.
No.
I'd barricade the door and I would call the police.
Yeah, find a weapon.
But then he said my dad had heard knocking at the front door, which I presumed was in the middle of the night, and he it was insistent enough that he got up and looked out the window.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what are you going to ignore it?
Yes.
No, you're going to sneak over to the front door and peek out and see what's happening. Could be a crazy person. You've seen those videos on YouTube, those cool videos. Well, they're cooler, disturbing videos of like ring cameras and stuff like that.
Chilling scares, like the scariest things caught on ring cameras or whatever.
Yeah, there's like for the most part, it's like strung out or sick people who are just knocking on the wrong door, probably.
Yeah.
But it's they're scary, and so anyway, he hears this and he peeks out the window. Dude, if somebody comes knocking on the door, I go get a weapon. Yeah. I used to be the weapon myself, but look what they did to me.
Oh boy.
Just kidding, of course. And yeah, man, if you hear a knock at the door or at the window is bad news.
The window is even worse.
If you hear a knock at the window, in fact, we should look up a story. We should see if there's any stories that we have on the website that use the words knock at the window.
Okay.
That's what's cool about our Castle of Spirits website.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Is that you can search the database by like keyword. And for example, if you look for doppelgangers, if you know how to spell the word, every single story that spells the word correctly on the website will pop up and populate for you. And if you look up the story, what did you look up just now?
Knock at the window.
And there's a story called Knock at the Window?
There's a story called A Knock at My Window.
Shut up.
And I'm going to read it.
When was it submitted?
Well, I'll get to that when I read it, but
Okay,
I'm
okay,
not going to
okay,
read
go
it
ahead, go
just
ahead.
yet because we're still talking.
Oh, okay.
I actually just finished playing this video game on my computer. It's just a little indie game that I got off of Steam. I like horror indie games. They're pretty fun. The cheaper, the better, I've discovered. What, that game? The one that I just finished was like $2.99. It was like $3.
Yeah.
It was seriously scary. It was called the Wellmont's Case, and there was one part where you walk into this super creepy dark room. You're in this completely old, like decaying, haunted house in the middle of the night, and all you have is a flashlight, a very poor flashlight. So I walk into this room, and all of a sudden, and it's on the second story, and all of a sudden, on the glass in the room, there was this quick bang, 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 knocking. Scared the hell out of me. Yelled while Vince was trying to watch something on TV. Scared the hell out of him.
Yeah, I'm sitting her 3 feet away, and she screams all of a sudden.
I couldn't help it. But then you saw the game, and you were like, okay, yeah, that's pretty scary.
Well, let me tell you something. Video games have come a long way from the old days. Man, I used to play...
Here we go with the old man talk again. Go ahead.
I used to play Pong in my day.
Yeah, he did.
And I was terrible at it.
Yeah, he was.
And so are you.
Okay.
Nobody can play that game well. Anyway, I'm a veteran of the early 80s. Dude, I was so... I've been around so GD long that I was done. I was done with video games by the time like the video revolution came around. I'd had my fill of video games in arcades and wasting 25 cents per token and playing like Zaxxon and Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and all that kind of stuff.
Nobody knows what any of these games are.
Exactly. You don't know what they are. But I was there and I saw them with these two eyes.
So this story is called... Sorry, I just had to stop you.
I'm glad you did, because
Okay.
I wasn't going to do it.
This story is called A Knock at My Window, and it was submitted by Anonymous in USA, December of 2003. I cannot vouch for the quality of this story, by the way. I have not read it. This actually happened to my brother, who was around 5 years old at the time. I wasn't even born then, but my grandmother was there to verify it really happened. My brother slept with my grandmother, and the bed was up against the window. It was an old, musty house that my parents had rented while they were working out in the cotton fields in Texas, next to the Mexican border. Everyone would fall asleep right away because they were tired from working all day. But my brother would stay awake and glance out the window. One day, there was a knock at the window, and there appeared a man in a purple suit You couldn't see his face because his hat fell over his eyes. He tried to wake up my grandmother, but she was out cold, and he was too scared to move. The little brother, not the guy at the window. The next thing he saw was the man in the purple in the living room. That's where they slept. He was pointing to a ladder that appeared out of nowhere, and the man in purple would nod his head up to instruct my brother to climb. And I just lost the straight. There we go. Sorry, I dropped my phone. Give me a second. Okay. Instruct my brother to climb up the ladder. He would close his eyes and try not to look at the man. This occurred for a couple of weeks. He tried to tell my parents, but they would not pay any attention and thought he was just making it up. One night, grandmother decided to stay awake, but nothing happened until the following night. There was a knock on the window, and the man in purple appeared. She rose out of bed and proceeded to open the window, and at the same time yelled out to leave the child alone and to tell her what he wanted. Well, grandmother said that he disappeared so quickly that all she saw was a trail of purple smoke disappear into the night. By that time, everyone was awake and was asking what all the yelling was about. And grandmother told everyone that what my brother was telling everyone was the truth because she confronted the man. He never knocked again, and when work was over, my parents moved out and on to another job. Months later, a relative that lived in that same town where this happened ran into my family and told them, "You know that old house you all lived in? Well, after you moved out, the owner decided to knock the house down, and when they were tearing the roof apart, they found a bunch of old coins up there that were worth a lot of money, and they were wrapped up in an old purple suit jacket. Can you believe you were staying in that old house with that fortune? I wonder who left that behind." My parents never told him about the man who came knocking at the window who wanted my brother to climb up the ladder. So thank you to Anonymous in USA for submitting a knock at my window in December of 2003. And for a spur-of-the-moment random pick, that was a banger.
That really was. That really was. I think we should do that more often.
Yeah.
We have done that in the past where we sort of like have taken prompts.
But it's dangerous because
They could be bad stories. I mean, no offense. They just could be not great quality or maybe not even all that scary.
yeah.
I think some of the fun about this show, the thing about it, what's cool about this show that we're doing is that we're doing what we used to do like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We just had our 24th wedding anniversary yesterday, by the way.
Day before yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Day before Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, like 25 years ago, and I've told this story before. We used to hang out in our apartment. We had like no internet. We had internet. We had no TV, no cable TV. Netflix was just a you could get like discs in the mail.
I don't even think it was that at that point.
It was the service that came before Netflix.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. I don't even think we had that at that point.
Yeah.
We
were
just
had
reading stories.
We had the internet, and the internet in the early 2000s, late 90s was not the way it is now.
No.
I mean, we're talking, this is before YouTube, before even MySpace. We're talking about
and before
AOL.
algorithms.
Oh yeah, algorithms have ruined the world. Anyway, they
Like,
spoiled the internet.
Googling ghost stories like Castle of Spirits, boom, right there at the top.
Yeah.
Castle of Spirits has been around for almost 30 years, and now it's probably buried on like page 5 of Google results.
So we used to go to the Castle of Spirits website,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to turn the lights off and sit in the glow of the big, giant computer monitor and we take turns at the keyboard finding stories and reading them to each other, and we would try and scare each other. And then, when we got later on that night, we'd turn on Art Bell and listen to, him talk.
Yep.
But
Man, those were the days.
Those really were the days.
That seems like a story that we would have read back then and really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I can't help it because the purple suit, I'm picturing like
Prince.
a mix. No, I'm picturing like a mix between like Spy versus Spy. The black and the white, like little guys with the hats. You don't know Spy versus Spy? Anyway,
No,
I was picturing Spy versus Spy mixed with like a dude in his zoot suit.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think that it was...
Here, I'll show you Spy versus
That story was also a tragedy because there was a small fortune, at least, to be found.
Right,
But
yeah,
and then the
that's
ghost is like, dude,
awful.
what do I have to do? I have to appear and point and tell you, go up there. There's something there.
I know,
want
and
you
he
to see."
keeps trying to tell them, and they're just like, I don't know, there's some...
He should have done the international hand sign for currency, which is when
He's all...
you rub your fingers together and, like,
And
and then you
points up.
point. There's money.
Although
there's
maybe
dough.
he did, and the little kid didn't know what that meant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little
maybe
kid
not.
doesn't know what, what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spy versus, it's like the old Mad Magazine comic. Spy versus Spy. See?
You mean like the Ziggy? Oh, okay. Spy versus Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What year was that?
I don't know.
I don't think it was a demographic.
But maybe you can kind of see that if you're watching on YouTube. So I was kind of picturing that in purple, a little zoot suity.
That looks distinctly late 90s, early 2000s.
No, Spy versus Spy is older than that. It might even come from for all I know, it comes from the 60s. But anyway,
Wow.
This is not a Spy versus Spy podcast, contrary to popular belief.
Or to what you might hear with your own ears and eyes.
No, what you might hear with your own eyes.
Or see.
It sounds
with
like a
your
Garth
ears.
Marenghi reference, doesn't it?
It does.
Something you hear with your own eyes.
Oh, now
My Garth Marenghi accent is horrible.
Yeah, you don't know how to do it. And just don't ask me to do it either because I don't want to
Because
make
you're
you feel
even
bad.
worse.
Because I do it way better than you do. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my story.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you have I did get a video game recommendation. By the way, guys, if you have good like horror game recommendations, especially if it's something I can get on Steam, I'm all about it. With a couple caveats. I like story, I like mystery and intrigue. I don't like having to run around and shoot things constantly, and it's not out of a hatred of violence or whatever. It really,
Because we love violence.
no, it just makes me so nervous. Like when it's just more and they're all coming at you and you have to shoot them and then you die. And I can't handle that. So don't give me shooter games because I won't.
There are a lot of these. What are they called? What do they call these games? They're called analog horror, right? Kind of. No, that's something different.
I think some of them have an analog horror vibe. It's just like indie horror games.
They're these indie horror games that I would have loved when I was a kid. But the only thing is that there's one that she played where you're working at a hamburger stand hamburger kiosk.
No, the game is called Kiosk.
Okay, and then the weird things happen, but you
also have to make hamburgers.
You're tasked with having to make hamburgers for weird people that come to the counter and say, "Oh, give me 2 hamburgers
and
one
hot
with
dogs
cheese and hot dogs." And then
salad
like the action when you're
breakfast.
picking up the hot, you have to go to the refrigerator and get the hot dogs out. And you have to cook them on. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm playing a video game, I'm escaping. I'm not getting a part-time job that I wouldn't have wanted when I was 14.
But it's fun. Like, I don't know. It's cool. I like it. Anyway, I got a recommendation from Mooney Essence, who says that I should play Iron Lung. So thank you. I will check that out. And, Jeff knows Spy versus Spy. Hello, Jeff. Oh, first appeared in 1961. Boom. I said Spy versus Spy probably came
All
from
right.
the 60s.
So I
Thanks,
was
Jeff.
the target demographic, and I just was too much of a nerd to have caught it. I
Mm-hmm.
guess I was also raised by
Wolves.
strange people. We'll say that strange people.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have a whole lot else to say. We are sitting in a different spot today. I
Man,
think we might just do this from now on. I think it looks better and it was a much easier setup.
It was. It was. You totally forgot to let me tell people the experience that I had the other night.
Oh,
Maybe you should cut the music. Hey, everybody, stop the music.
okay.
Stop the music.
Music has stopped.
First of all, we talked in one of the last shows about how we had to shut off the water in our house because our water main broke. Long story. But at some point, I climbed underneath the house to the crawl space just to see if there was any flooding going on. That was the first thing I did before we called for help. And when I went down there, I'm usually not afraid being down there because it's kind of cool and it's kind of enclosed and it's not dirt, it's concrete. And I have a crawler, like when people work on cars, they lay down on these little things with wheels, right? And I have a crawler, and I was on my hands and knees crawling through, moving through the darkness with a flashlight. And I heard a breath in my ear. And that made me just go, okay, I'm done here, and started backing up really quickly. I think I bonked my head.
Probably.
And I couldn't get out of there fast
He bonks
enough.
his head getting his coffee creamer out of the refrigerator.
This is true. And I was totally expecting when the plumber person came and to take a look down there for him to scream at the top of his lungs that there was something down there.
Be like,
But
your crawl space is haunted, yeah?
But do you think I told him? While you're going down there, by the way, I heard something down there breathing into my ear. I'm not going to tell him that. He's going to think I'm crazy. So I'm like sending him down there. Like, I don't know this guy from Adam. If he doesn't come back, I'll call the cops. I'm definitely not going to try and take care of it myself, even though I may have the powers of arrest still.
Wow.
But I digress. And then fast forward to I wish I could have fast forwarded.
To
Struggle
last
forward
night.
to a couple of nights ago.
Oh, I thought it was last night.
A couple of nights ago, I was lying in bed. And remember how I told you that sometimes, that a couple of times in my life, I've heard tapping on the pillow?
Yep.
If you guys have heard past episodes, you may have heard us talk about this. Primarily in episode 1, called Meet the Ghost Keepers. Anyway.
That's us. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Anyway.
And, but the other night, I heard something, and this is evidence that sometimes when weird things and freaky things and possibly paranormal things happen, you don't call Ghostbusters. You just sort of shrug your shoulders and go, "Oh well,
that was peculiar." Good
yeah,
night.
that was strange. I'm not going to sell the house or anything like that." But I swear I heard what sounded like a radio transmission in my ear. Now I have, because I grew up in the late 70s and 80s, and I liked sugar. You see where you're going.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I was
had
going to
cavities,
suggest it earlier.
and I had fillings, the old school metal fillings. I guess there's metal.
Yeah.
And I thought, even at that moment, I thought, what was that? And I'm like half asleep, and I'm like, I turned my head into the pillow a little bit more so I could hear. And I thought, I wonder if that's one that I've heard about this phenomenon that people have picked up radio signals through the filling in their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered.
This is only for the old metal fillings, not the modern day white fillings.
Right. So modern day people, unlike the old day people like me, would not understand this or experience it. But I have equipment in my head old enough to experience this. And it may have been a broadcast from Mars. I'm not saying that, or Saturn, but I heard something, and it sounded. There was no radio near my head or anything like that, or my phone. My phone was on silent, And anyway, so I heard that noise, and I thought, "What the hell was that?" And I swear, before I said, "Okay, never mind," and drifted off to sleep, I literally said, "Say that one more time." And I had this feeling that I shouldn't be saying that because I could be inviting something to answer me back.
That's really creepy. You didn't tell me that
And
part.
of course, nothing happened.
Of course.
Nothing answered back. I fell asleep. I woke up and I drooled all over myself.
Yeah.
And who knows if it was a dream or not.
Let me tell the folks another story, okay? Just to add a bit of context
Okay.
to both of these stories. Several years ago, well, maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, we went camping. You know where this is going, Vince.
Yes.
And it was starting to get dusky outside. It was beautiful. We're in the middle of the forest on the top of a mountain.
I just let the dog out to go to the bathroom.
His name was Olaf.
Olaf. I'd let Olaf out. Beautiful boxer.
Anyway.
So
he lets him out, and he's outside just kind of looking at how it was such a beautiful campsite we were at. Tall, tall trees. And all of a sudden, he hears near his ear.
Me.
He hears a growl, like a.
I heard this.
And he noped out of there back into our camper.
I was like, okay, Olaf, you're done, aren't
quickly.
you? If you piss on the floor of the camper, I don't care because we're going indoors
because
now.
we are not going to be eating by.
Right.
So he tells me, and I'm like, whoa, what's that? That's creepy. Well, the next morning, we're getting ready to leave. We're packing. The bug made a growling sound as it flew.
Yeah, I remember Googling saying growling bug. And I found it. I don't remember what that was called.
No.
But it scared the hell out of me because when I first heard it, like I said, like you said, it was quiet. I'm out there going, the majesty of nature. And they're like, okay, the hell with nature. I want the Ramada Inn. I want Motel
Ramada
6.
Inn.
I want Hilton. I don't care who.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyway, I like to bring that story up because
La Quinta.
probably what he heard in the crawl space was his back rubbing up against the ductwork in the tight crawl space. His back brushes and it's all shh, and he's like, there was breath in my ear. And then he's laying in bed sleeping, and we have another cat that you will never see because he's terrified of everyone and everything. And he hides.
He's had it rough.
He's only got 3 legs. He's cute. He's sweet, but he doesn't come out. But he's been sleeping in our bedroom lately, which is new. And Lord, he snores.
Oh, he snores worse than Jane.
You shut your filthy mouth. I don't snore. This is a cat. His name is Canelo. He's a cat, and you can hear him snore from the other side of the house.
How does he do it? Pull away from the microphone.
Okay, I got him. Yeah. So this is literally what Canelo sounds like when he snores. Just, it's awful. It's really awful. And I think that maybe what you heard was Canelo snoring, and you were like, oh, the ancestors are trying to communicate. And really, it's just Canelo.
And I said Saturnians, Martians, and Saturn people, Saturnians. I thought maybe they were trying to communicate, or maybe somebody on AM radio, like George Norrie or something.
I'm gonna have him evaluated next week. So
you evaluate away. There's never going to be an answer for this.
That's actually true.
Yeah. So guys, this is where we wrap up the show, and this is where we beg you guys to please follow us on social media. If you're listening to this podcast,
social media.
Yeah, forget social media, but
Just
follow us on YouTube
and the podcast.
Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast, even if you do one or the other. It really helps us with visibility. If you leave us a review, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave a review there, because I mean, there should be more reviews, but I know it's hard to leave a review on Amazon podcasts because I can't figure out how the hell to do it myself. But if you can figure out how to do it, it would be greatly appreciated. Leave an honest review. I'm not asking for a 5-star review.
But it
Just
better be
3 and higher. and of course, if you listen on Spotify, leave a review there, wherever the hell. We're everywhere. You can hear us everywhere. And if you don't watch YouTube, go to YouTube and look for Castle of Spirits and subscribe. If you follow us on social media, if we get more than 1,000 subscribers, I think we can go live. Like we can do
on YouTube or on socials?
No, on Instagram.
I'm not worried about that.
And stuff like that. We can do live stuff. So we probably won't, but we can at least do it. So please do that and support us. We ain't asking you for money.
Yeah.
No, we're not
Just
doing.
kidding.
Are we?
No.
Oh.
All right, but guys, you know what? If you like this show, we really are gonna beg you to tell a friend.
And let's be real. If you hate this show, you're not going to tell a friend, are you?
No.
If you hate the show, you probably don't have any friends anyway. But if you hate the show, find a couple of enemies of yours and tell them about this podcast.
Because you've got enemies.
Yeah, we all have enemies,
we
especially,
do.
You know who you are. We just tell them, you know what? Why don't you go watch a YouTube broadcast of Castle of Spirits True Ghost Stories, you so-and-so.
You'll really sock it to them.
Yeah, and then they'll be like all crying and stuff. And then maybe they'll actually remember and they'll go. So.
And on that note,
it's a win-win situation.
See you next week.